and gentlemen, welcome to the Opportunities and Challenges of Zero Trust Security Forum. Before the exciting program today, it is a pleasure to invite the Director of the Industrial Development Bureau of the Ministry of Economic Affairs of Taiwan, Mr. Junsho Ling, to share his welcoming remarks. Let us welcome Director Ling.
Hello everyone, I'm Chen Chen from Industrial Development Bureau. It's my great honor to welcome you in today's conference. First of all, a warm greeting to all industrial leaders and media representatives from both Taiwan and abroad. Good morning. Welcome to the opportunities and the challenges of Zero Trust Security Forum. According to the private sector cybersecurity survey conducted by the Industrial Technology Research Institute, as commissioned by Industrial Development Bureau, the most common cause of cybersecurity issues in 2021 was hacking, followed by virus attacks. The top cybersecurity issues included malware, ransomware, and phishing. Among the private firms that faced cybersecurity threats last year, close to half of them were targeted at least twice. In terms of the time taken to resolve the issues, almost half of the affected firms resumed the normal operations within 8 hours. According to the Global Risks report published by the World Economic Forum, cyber vulnerabilities constitute one of the top 10 risks threatening the world. Cybersecurity is also one of the key concerns evaluated under ESG frameworks. As Taiwan transitions to a smart nation, cybersecurity is one of our topmost concerns. Many enterprises in Taiwan are already an integral part of the global supply chain. As companies in the private sector undergo a digital transformation, the cybersecurity risks faced by them will also increase. In the days to come, issues such as the establishment of an enterprise's cybersecurity measures and the cybersecurity infrastructure between different enterprises as well as between the private and the public sectors will all take center stage. In 2021, President Chen announced that cybersecurity is a national security 2.0 strategy, which seeks to position Taiwan as a resilient, safe, and reliable smart nation through strengthening organizations, implementing laws and regulation, cultivating talent, and supporting the private sector with regard to cybersecurity. Thus, IDB is providing consultation services and rolling out programs to strengthen cybersecurity in the private sector, including offering consultation and subsidies, securing supply chains, offering cybersecurity evaluation, training cybersecurity professionals, providing cross-sector solutions to cybersecurity issues, organizing industrial matchmaking and exchange sessions, and developing cybersecurity authentication systems for applications and IoT. IDB aggressively assists enterprises to address the issues in areas such as cybersecurity policies, organization, response and recovery, helping to establish the most comprehensive management plans which will be the best source of support for the private sector in adopting and implementing cybersecurity measures. Current defensive cybersecurity measures adopted by many enterprises have fallen short in the face of the increasing threats in recent years and are also unable to meet the challenges and the changes, like shifting to a work-from-home model. The issues explored in today's forum under the overarching thing of the opportunity and the challenges of zero trust security, which is one of the hottest topics in the world this couple of years, are also pertinent to Taiwan's private sector as well. So we will do well to pay close attention to them. In today's forum, we have invited 5 experts in cybersecurity to talk about these issues and help all of us gain deeper awareness and understanding of new forms of cyber attacks and relevant defensive strategies, so that private enterprise would be able to reduce their operational risks and strengthen their resilience when it comes to cybersecurity. Finally, I would like to thank all guests for participating in today's event. I hope the conference will be a resounding success. On top of that, it is also my hope that with the concerted effort of our partners from various industries, the issue of cybersecurity will receive even more attention in Taiwan, which will in turn accelerate the growth of Taiwan's cybersecurity industry and infuse the private sector with enhanced cybersecurity. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Lin, for the opening remarks. Thank you so much. Our forum will begin shortly, and there will be 5 thoughtfully prepared topics today by the winners of 2022 Best Choice Award Cybersecurity, whereby each speaker will present their niche and specializations. Let us welcome our first speaker, Mr. Andrew Chen, Director of Product and Service Management of Chen Micro. He will be sharing on the keynote topic of the power of one. Welcome, Mr. Chen.
Hello, good morning everyone. This is Andrew Chen on behalf of Chen Micro Product Management Team. I'll be talking about Chen Micro Power of One, because essentially we have this Vision One platform, which happened to have the chance to win the award this year. So I'm very delighted to be here on behalf of the Product Management Team to go over what's our latest update on Vision One, because we had this recent event within Chen Micro. Our CEO, Eva, gave a talk within our perspective event, give the entire notion of Vision One as a platform, and what's the key, what's the core strategy behind it. So can we go to the next slide? I would like to quickly update myself. I'm with Chen for about 16 years, and then 19 years also in cyber. And then I've been managing point product for the past 16 years across endpoint, and the latest detection response point products, and also part of the MITRE task force to help coordinate the engagement with MITRE on the specific evaluation. And then lastly, I'm also part of the Vision One product ops team. And when I'm not doing the supporting the product developments or hunting the evos, I'm actually going surfing, playing tennis, and doing a lot of fly fishing. Right, next slide, please. Yeah. So that was a quick intro about myself, and then this is why we've been doing this. We've been doing a lot of innovation, echoing to this today's topic. I think InnoVEX is all about innovation, right? So we've been doing innovation for the past 30-some years, and if I remember correctly, Chen Micro now stands above and beyond over 600 patents. And then this year, because of Vision One platform and the recent Zero Trust initiative, we are continuing to developing a lot of good momentum and then having additional patent as part of the solution offering to the customer. And then this is the way for us to keep up with the landscape. As we know, the cybersecurity is getting harder and harder, more difficult, because the adversary, the bad actors have a lot of resource, a lot of fundings coming from anywhere from nation's state sponsor to a very highly motivated gang of modus operandi to support their initiative. This is why we need to keep up, making sure our economic engine from an innovative perspective is continue to be a sound approach. Next slide, please. Yeah, so throughout the course of the past 3 decades or so, we started with anti-malware, and then we do quite a bit of the artificial intelligence, and then supporting the customer migrating from on-premise to the cloud solution. And then we are also walking away from the conventional perpetual license, meaning the customer now is all pretty much all on the subscription base. And then we also introduced one of the innovative way for the customer to allocate when it comes down to deployment. We offer this credit system behind the subscription base, so the customer can freely deploy how many sensors on endpoint, how many sensors on network, how many sensors on messaging, depending on what are the security control, the layer of defense the customer want to enable their security control, right? So that's one of the way for us to do that. And then beyond that, we've been doing the XDR, the extended detection response for the past 3 years. We started doing EDR since 2014, but this Vision One platform approach really helped the customer to streamline the whole process. Let's go to that. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. And then those are the key points we want to address. Anywhere from the weakest link within the organization, and all the way to the attack surface discovery for the customer to try to flesh out the blind spot, right? If you don't see it, it's very difficult to defend it. And then you don't see it because number one, you might not have a good security control on top of it, so you're not getting the right data to help you visualize potential attack surface and vector, right? Not alone to figure out the attack density. And then if you don't have good intelligence, like if you don't curate your intelligence, like understanding who's attacking you, why are they attacking you, it's very difficult blindly just follow any given alert coming from any security control you've been deployed. So we have to continue to help the customer to tackle all these challenges by doing preemptive intel-driven defense. That's why the Vision One platform has a lot of development across all different apps that touch base on all aspects. Next slide. Yeah, and then going back to the Director Lin's opening presentation, he talked about two things. I think the two takeaway for you guys is ransomware is still fairly prevalent, right? We see a lot of respected vendor out there today has been constantly being attacked by ransomware for the past few years. Even last year, we had major incident on some of the major industrial sector. So ransomware is still fairly active and prevalent. And then we are doing our best we can to have different technology supporting approach to tackle ransomware challenge, making sure all the enterprises are on top of their sound cyber resiliency to rebound and bounce back once there's a ransomware attack happens in their environment. And then vulnerability, also one key topic as well. We've been doing a lot of ZDI, Zero Day Initiative, for the past so many years. We've been supporting the industry, the community, to constantly report unsighted, zero-day vulnerabilities to make sure customer can have a way to mitigate and preemptively to tackle that challenge, right? So we have virtual patching and all sorts of different methods for the customer to take advantage of. That's also part of the Vision One platform. Right. All right, so why is it so difficult to operate? I think in a later session, you will see other vendors talk about the operation challenges to operate a sound SOC operation, right? Because we are talking about people, a good team constitute a good processes, and then you need to have the right technology and right configuration beforehand. So people, technology, and process are the foundation to solve this challenge. And we, on the other hand, is try to come up with the least alert fatigue, with the most high fidelity alerts. And you can see that in the MITRE eval report, the trend score highly on the way we present. We decipher the intel for the customer to visualize from typical level 1 analyst to response and triage all the way to a detailed forensic process. So that's the whole cycle process that we're infusing to platform. So this is a high-level view of how we adding attack surface discovery lifecycle management. This is helping the customer to visualize the blind spot across the entire perimeter, or even beyond perimeter with the new norms like working from home, right? So we have complete different layer of sensor to help the customer to visualize all sorts of different, by combining different data sources to visualize the whole life cycle. And then we continue to help the customer to build assessment. Assessment meaning doing a periodic intel sweeping, and then to come up with early telltale sign, early warning of potential ransomware that might happen to the customer, right? So those are the things that we continue to support. And then this is the high-level building block, the key building block for Vision One platform. right? So Trend Micro 1, the part of 1 is centered around Vision 1. And then Vision 1 has, on the top, there's a Cloud 1 that watch over all your cloud workloads, right? And on the bottom, you have the Network 1, sits in Overwatch to look at all the internal communication. And then we also have the East, North and South communication monitor as well through our tipping point products. And then we have the Workforce 1. That's where we monitor the most at the user level, right? We monitor every user's device, their user behavior, because that's usually the first layer of infiltration. So we have the user, the internal network, the whole attack surface discover, and also the crown jewel, where the customer has the most precious data, your ERP server, your file server, your intellectual property server. We harden that, we govern that with our Cloud One solution approach. And then everything here is filled into Vision One platform that has the complete visibility, analytic, and also the most important, the response procedure. The customer can easily carry out response procedure by taking this user offline, taking this machine off the grid, and then collecting the artifact, right? Dump it into sandbox. There's a lot of procedure. We have an endless of best practice the customer can follow. And then all this is fairly open as well. So we are a firm believer this should be an openness platform, can help the customer to perform under the notion of autonomous SOC. So we have tons of connector through the ecosystem integration. There's a lot of connector connecting to your ticketing system, to your workflow system, so on and so forth. So all these things are, and then lastly, we also have Service One. If you don't have the capacity to run this in-house, we have Service One to help you to take over, to offset the skill set challenge, or so on and so forth, right? So there's also a way for you to outsource from a federated model. So so this is a 3T takeaway. We do quite a bit of starting with attack surface discovery. And then we assess the risk, come out with the dashboard, the CISO metrics, especially the CISO metrics, in terms of anywhere from mean time to detect, mean time to identify, classify, mean time to triage, mean time to respond, and mean time to eradicate. Also gauge the overall cyber resiliency that constitute the whole matrix that we're helping the CISO to stand confidently against the board, the sponsor, and whatnot. And then, next slide, please. Yeah, and then this actually has all the details, right? All the key building block within every single, the entire platform. Yeah, and then to close this out, so we pay a lot of attention, and there's quite a bit of pattern and technology behind the attack surface risk index. There's a lot of weighting models, supervised, unsupervised, combined together to come out with the matrix. And then with the peer comparison, we help the customer compare themselves with their peers across the entire verticals, also with the global matrix as well, because that's one of the key indicators the CISO needs to justify. Am I doing a good job? Am I on top of my security control? The matrix is something, it's a key data point for the CISO to review on a periodic basis, right? And then the rest of the three the pillar points are the foundation to support this risk index. Right, so those are the key bullet points. We want to simplify the whole, streamline the process, reduce the cost, right? And then open up the entire framework, and also have a team to augment if you don't have the capacity to run this in-house. Right, so this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time today. But prior to I sign off, I also did a specific Zero Trust presentation for Computex. If you are interested in looking into the details of Zero Trust initiative, you can check out the video as well, because that video is actually a prelude to this session here. Right, so thank you for your time today, and thank you, Computex, for inviting Chen here. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Once again, these are very informative. Thank you for your sharing. Thank you. Please return with extra care. Okay, now let's welcome the General Manager of CHT Security Company, Mr. Jeff Hong. The topic of his keynote sharing is Learn from Others, Cybersecurity Governance and Countermeasures from Common Cybersecurity Issues. Welcome, Mr. Hong.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeff Hong, the General Manager of CHT Security. We just won the Computex Best Choice Award this year. Thank you for giving us this good opportunity to share with you the cybersecurity issues we have seen. And in this presentation, we also provide the countermeasures for the identified security risks. So next, this is the outline for my presentation today. Before we get started, we will give a brief on CSG security. Next. CSG Security is a specialized cybersecurity subsidiary of Zhonghua Telecom. We just found in 2017. Actually, so far, we are the leading management security service company in Taiwan in terms of revenue size, clients number, and we deliver telco-centric and comprehensive cybersecurity solution to our clients. When customer need, we provide something like red teaming, SOC, MDR, forensics services for them. We are not only provide cybersecurity professional service, but also our product as well. Next. Recently, we have received a 2021 Taiwan Management Security Service Company of the Year award from Frost & Sullivan. And moreover, we won lots of credits and many bug bounty challenges and contests. We have obtained many ISO standards certification. That means our services are international standards compliant. Next. So far, we have delivered many comprehensive cybersecurity solutions to over 200 large enterprise and government institutions, and over 20,000 SMEs for them. Furthermore, we have undertaken many large-scale projects from government institutions and large enterprise, such as TSMC, Carrefour, and so on. Next. CSG Security has always endeavored to discover vulnerabilities in popular systems. So far, we have discovered over 50 CVE, including the very famous SWIFT payment system. In short, from technical point of view, we have the ability to find vulnerabilities that others cannot see. Next. We are so proud to say that we are the only cybersecurity company with straight A in government's annual review in 2021. In comparison, other cybersecurity companies did not receive any A grade at all. Not just the 2021, CSG Security has been awarded straight A grade in the Security Service Provider Review for 3 consecutive years. And next. We will share with you the risk we have seen. Next. Okay, this is a statistic data of cybersecurity incident investigation that is conducted by CSG Security's IR team. For 2021, the total number is 211. The most important part of the slide is the ranking list of hackers' initial access. Yeah, which means this is the first vulnerability that hackers use to penetrate. So that is quite important to know that. These categories are classified according to MITRE's ATT and CK tactics. So the number one is exploit public-facing application. That means hackers can take advantage of a weakness in the internet-facing vulnerability and get into your system. The number two is valid account. Hacker obtain credential of existing account as a means of gaining initial access. it might happen or it might caused by username password leakage. The number 3 is driven by compromise. Hacker may gain access to a system through a user web browsing behavior. Next. If you go detail to analyze the cause of exploit public-facing application, we can find the real cause is these top 3. The top one is file upload vulnerability, and the second is SQL injection vulnerability, and the third is identification and authentication vulnerability. Next. Here's the table shows you very important information. That our service team, including our IR team and red teaming, have identified in the past. Some of them are due to internet-facing application vulnerability, and some of them are due to the leakage of username password. Well, on the right-hand side of the slide, there's the top trend in cybersecurity 2022 that published by Gartner just a couple weeks ago. As you can see, we have the same findings as Gartner's. That means we will give a very simple conclusion here. The first one is we should focus on the management of external attack surface, namely threat and vulnerability. The second, we should pay attention to the threat of identification. The third, we should pay attention to risk of supply chain. Next. Here's a real case of a high-tech manufacturer that facing a ransomware attack. The root cause is ID password linkage and exploit internet-facing or public-facing application vulnerability. Just for your reference. Next. We have talked about a lot of threats, but now we're moving to countermeasure. Next. We're talking about cybersecurity risk. I think we can break it down into 3 parts. The threat, vulnerability, and impact. As you know, threats are uncontrollable. So the enterprises should focus on vulnerability management and how to respond to threat. Next. Here's the key information of this slide. According to our team's observations and Gartner's findings, here are the top 3 cybersecurity threats and their countermeasure in 2022. The most important part one will be supply chain risk. It means that if you are a developer, you are a provider, you should adopt SSDLC, the Secure Software Developer Lifecycle, to make sure you are developing a secure product. And if you are a system integrator or you are a service provider, you should adopt a supply chain management system to make sure you are integrate or you are adopting a secure component. The number 2 will be the zero-day vulnerability. The most important thing you should take is adopt a vulnerability management system to shorten your cyber risk exposure time. The third should be weak protection to endpoint. That's quite important. You should adopt EDR or MDR to increasing your cybersecurity visibility in your system or in your enterprise. Next. In sum, in addition to the countermeasure we mentioned earlier, if you want to enhance your cybersecurity protection in 2022, we have 5 suggestions for you. the IR playbook, and you should adopt as VMS, TMS or VMS, ticket management system or vulnerability management system. You should adopt SOC with MDR or EDR. And that's quite important to check the effectiveness of your information defense mechanism using red teaming or BS tool. Here, the BS tool means breach and attack simulation attack tools. And the last part, you should keep your packet, all the traffic in your enterprise to make sure for inspection when you need. Next. Let's go detail this suggestion. The first one is get ready for instant response. No matter how good your cybersecurity protection is, there may be a security incident. So make sure your team is ready for security incidents. Be sure to review your IR policy. Prepare your IR playbook in advance. Also, provide training to your employees and conduct drills. Next. Enterprises often spend a lot of money to build cybersecurity protection tools and mechanisms, but have no way to recognize or to check the effectiveness of the protection mechanism. I think the most effective way to recognize, to check, to review your cybersecurity prevention tool or protection mechanism is to conduct a red teaming exercise. CIT Securities, the red team can help enterprise to conduct intrusion simulation against agreed targets by all means. This can verify the blue team's capability in detection and response. In addition, we can work as a purple team to keep all the testing ready during the exercise if need. Next. As we said earlier for several times, vulnerability management is the most important part or most important thing in cybersecurity management. So you need effective tools like ticket management or vulnerability management system for you. On this slide, we show you a typical TMS or VMS. These are the tools we are currently using, and they are all developed by ourselves. Next. Enterprises should be ready for security incidents. So keeping all the network traffic is necessary for response and investigations, even for forensics. Securitas network protection is designed to address this need. Securitas network protection will record all network packets for inspection. It can do real-time network analysis and detect intrusion, while send alerts to administrator as need. It provides a single forensic platform for the administrators. Next. Here's the CIT security can help. Next. And key takeaways. Next. And this is the key takeaways for today's presentation for your information. Next. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hong, for such an insightful sharing and this insightful speech. Please return to your seats with care. All right, we would like to welcome Marketing Vice President of Openfind Information Technology, Ms. Meng-chiu Lee, and she will be sharing on the topic of Taiwan can help. Do not miss the complimentary defense services in the very front line. Please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lee from Openfind. Thank you for being here and thank you for joining us online. It's my pleasure to share our experiences in defend the nation-state sponsored attacks and introduce why you may be interested in our services. This is today's agenda. Our company, Openfind, is very honored that we won the Computex Best Choice Award this year in cybersecurity. And that gets me the ticket to speak with you today. It's almost summer now, and you may know that Taiwan is very famous for our delicious fruits. The picture here is mango, and make sure you have some before you leave Taiwan or next time you visit Taiwan. And what's also very famous for Taiwan is that we have a very strong nemesis. And it's a very special situation that we encounter thousands of cyber attacks every day while we are speaking. And the situation is very special, so that only a few countries like us will draw such attention from the country. And since everyone have to receive email from outside, so the email system must to be public to the world. And so all the hackers in the world are very familiar with the major email systems like Microsoft Exchange, IBM Lotus Notes, or Linux POSIX. And if you don't update your email server with the latest update, you will be very dangerous. In Taiwan, Openfind is the major email system provider to all the governments and bigger companies. So as you can imagine, we are in the very front row to observe all the cyber attacks. So nowadays we found that the hackers tend to sneak around and stay very low so that they can steal as many data as they want and to steal the identities like accounts and passwords so that someday they can pretend to be you to trick your colleagues or customers. And this is not some hearsay from some reports because we can actually observe their behaviors in the logs or records in our system. But we still have to read reports, right? And this is the FireEye report last year. And it says that dwell time is the days between a hacker has infiltrated the system and before they are snatched. And the average dwell time worldwide is on the left, 24 days. And in Asia, the dwell time is much longer, is in the right, 76 days. And it means either that the defenders here are dumber than the worldwide average, or the hackers here are more motivated to stay low and get our data and our identities. So as a result, we are very familiar with the attackers abroad from the country. So that's why we think that we can help, Taiwan can help with all the intels and experience that we are dealing with those hackers. And that explains why the cybersecurity market in Taiwan are growing fastest among all the countries in Asia. And because that's because we are targeted for years. And the demands are very high, so the solutions are more and better. Along with Computex here, Taiwan also has another very big event called CyberSec Expo. And it's about cybersecurity. Around 10,000 of visitors and buyers, and 3,000 of vendors like us, gathering together every year to share and exchange our observations and findings and solutions. And among all the vendors, Openfind is the expertise in email security domain. Over 1/3 of the public sector and 70% of top-level governments have adopted our solution. And as we found it here in Taiwan, and all the research are Taiwan-based, when we excel at the quality and the services, we have earned the trust of these security-sensitive customers. Except the governments, banking, and the telecom industries also depend on our defending system for the same reason. And our products are very stable and efficient so that it has the best cost performance. And that's the reason why the education, the schools, and the big manufacturing enterprises which supports Taiwan's economy now, that all prefer our products and services. And this page shows some of our awards winning and some of our famous customers. Most of our products have won the Taiwan Excellence Mark. And we are also doing well in Japan. Our product email archiving system have owned the top market share, not only in Taiwan market, but also in Japan market. And you can find case studies of our customers like Honda, Zycel, Burger King on our website. Back to cyber war. How do we build an effective defense for email systems? We have to adopt multi-layer of protection. Our service called All Secure filters all the incoming mail string from outside. And on the left, anti-spam and antivirus, of course, is the basic protection. And these days, you have to adopt more layers for advanced persistent threats, APTs. And we use AI-enhanced technology to detect APTs and fraud emails. And hackers today tend to use social engineering to get into your inboxes, so that we work very hard to prevent the users from clicking those dangerous URLs or prevent them from downloading malicious attachments. We also partnered with big players international, like Sophos from the UK and Siren from Israel. They provide components in our defense system, and we integrate them with our own technology and our threat intelligence. And the service works for all kinds of email systems. For example, Exchange on-premises or cloud services like Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace. We use AI-enhanced technology and machine learning, and it's very useful in many aspects. For example, there are many attacks, so we use machine learning to automatically catalyze the information, and so that we can evolve and enhance our detection every day. And we have a security operation center, and they have to detect and respond to all the cybersecurity events very quickly. And they are very experienced and proactive, so that they help our customers to quickly and calmly respond to the incident and help the customers to achieve their RTOs and RPOs. We provide email protections and also consulting services. We are very familiar with all kinds of threats that surround the email. For example, the ransomware, data leak prevention, fraud emails, disaster recovery of email systems, and also we are familiar with compliance because we will maintain ISO 27000 series of certificates for a decade. Next. In these 2 years, we have developed a new innovative business model. Since we are the major email provider here in Taiwan, and we can observe all the attacks, so that those intels like malicious source IPs are coming every day. We got fresh ones every day. So we think the intelligence is very valuable. So we are affiliating with other service providers and other security operation centers that we can exchange our intels and protect our side of the cyber war. And we are very passionate on it because we think we have the responsibility to national security, and we must work very hard on this together. In conclusion, we would like to offer our experience for defending nation-state-sponsored attacks. And it may be a good complement to your current protection in the aspects of the intelligence of threats and the protect mechanisms. Either you already have a line of protection or you are preparing to build one from scratch. A tested and continuously reinforcing defending system is definitely a good choice for you. Openfind is suitable for especially these kinds of customers, like governments, security-sensitive industries like high-tech or biotech companies. And as you know that we have met the high-quality requirement in Japan market, and we are survived from the Taiwan's nemesis, so you can trust our product and services. As a software development vendor, our core competence is our professional team and our proactive attitude to provide flexibility. And we can do customizations to fulfill customer needs and to protect better protection. After all, we think it's a good thing to achieve all the challenge and enhance ourselves. Next. We are looking for broad partners that are cloud service provider, and especially you need our experience in email security. That's pretty much my sharing today. I'm Lee from Openfind. Thank you for listening. Please feel free to contact us at info@openfind.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee, for this wonderful sharing how Openfind can help in our cyberspace. Thank you so much. All right, let us welcome the Deputy General Manager of ArmorX Global Technology, Ms. Lin, and the keynote sharing will be Initiative on Norm Phishing Defense, APT Concourse, and Enemy First, New Tricks Nemesis.
Hello. Initiative Unknown Phishing Defense. APT conquers the enemy first. New tricks, enemies. Next. Hello, everyone. My name is River. I'm in charge the sales and the service technical divisions in ArmorX. Today, I will entrust you the most advanced and powerful APT technology. 3 challenges to APT for government and business. How to protect against of phishing, flash scams. BC commercials fraud can actually get people, event, and substance. How do they obtain information? APT attacks hide in public cloud in large numbers. Vendors are also in the public cloud, but it is usually impossible to release public cloud IP directly. However, releasing them by email will be lead to BEC commercial fraud. How to release them actually? The original country of the attack emails, 44% United States, 10% Asia, 8% Germany. We can see the type of attack emails, 68 spam email and 32 malicious emails. So the 32% of malicious emails, including using fake identities to trick recipients into provide personal information. This kind of email, it could not have malicious programs. So your APT solutions you use now cannot block this kind of email. Next. Malware-free decoy emails or clean batch. This kind of email also don't have malicious program, so your solution cannot block it. So you will do a lot social engineer test on your user to remind them do not open this kind of email. So 47 APT email in the person of malware can affect defense. You can use like this kind of program behavior to block this kind of email. But 15.3 APT email that hasn't malware interception effectiveness only 10 to 30%. How to defend against unknown phishing attacks? Hacker will use this kind of way to get their information. They gather information like fake 0365, Gmail, credit card company, FedEx, or government. Or they will decide that like fake your supplier or your customer and send mail to you like a PDF file and tell you to transfer money to his account. So or they can fake Germany's or a big company to sending out RFQ to you. Initiative unknown phishing defense. We can analysis of fog and springboard, eminence, illegal behavior, and random number, time difference, middleman analyze, and public cloud attack. BC commercial fraud that can accurately get person, event, and substance. How do they obtain information? How? They do BC first, they need to get your information. So the APT attacks, their favorite email system. They will penetrate your email system or penetrate users' mailbox. Yeah. How to protect email from external penetration? Dual authentication and the login country control. This is the best way to protect your mail to release. So this we call is honey net. It can anti-hacking. It's a very good way to get which IP interests your company and they want to steal your information. You can set account login country, and if your sales or your boss do not need to access from the other countries, you can only say from your countries or the country he will visit. We provide the Exchange OEC, ECP, ActiveSync, ROH security proxy. In this world, only we can provide it. It's special. So if you use Exchange server, please protect it because it's very dangerous. You need to protect it. Next. This is about the security proxy routing control. Next. Chart registry. Okay. APT attacks hiding in public cloud. So if you want to release a mail, but it is from public cloud like Google 0365, could you add this IP into your release list? No, you cannot release this kind of IP. So you use email to be your whitelist. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. You cannot use email be your whitelist. So over 30% APT hackers, he will like to hide in the public cloud in the future. Okay. So how do you add the release list? Its correct way is to the list will be multi-factor whitelist. It could help you to precise release and block counterfeiting. You need this setting is like email and MTA information. If you want to release IBM email, this mail should come from IBM mail server, and then you can release it. If it's not come from IBM email server, it's fork IBM email, right? Our CTO is graduated from Carnegie Mellon. It's a CMU's PhD. Validation and at least 5 years world record we have. Our patent, many third-party verification, our patent. This is certification of our technical team. We provide products including mail server and very powerful web service, web mail, and the APT server, spam server, and the mail DLP. Many banks they use our DLP solutions, and we provide archive and provide HTTP security proxy. This is our application system architect. We also provide IM and conference server and NAS server, including web office. Okay. This is our customer, including financial industry, semiconductor, and the manufacturing industry. Okay. Thanks. I'm glad to introduce our solution to you. And trust me, we are your best choice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ling, for your sharing and for your talk. Thank you. Last but not least, let's welcome the Deputy Director of PUFsecurity Corporation, Dr. Shang Wu, and he will be covering on the topic of solving security challenges of digital transformation with PUF-based solution. Please, Dr. Wu.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sean. I'm here to take you through our solution. And before that, I will talk about our company first and then take you guys into what kind of countermeasure we can do in the IC part of the design. Since the prior speakers in front of me, most of them talk about software-based stuff. This is where the hardware comes in. So bear with me. I'm not going to take too much physics in here. So if you have questions or you want to learn more about it, feel free, find us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or shoot an email to me somehow afterward. So PUFsecurity is a subsidiary of eMemory. Some of you might know eMemory. eMemory is the world's largest embedded non-volatile memory IP provider. We have been in business for 22 years, and throughout these 22 years, we have accumulated nearly 1,000 patents and made nearly 6,000 tape-outs with our customers. With that, we have shifted more than 40 million equivalent of wafers that with our IP on there. And PUFsecurity was spun off in 2019 to focus on hardware security solutions. And we jointly developed our product with eMemory. So since the inception of eMemory, they have developed various memory technologies starting from OTP to NTP and others. And the most important one would be in 2017, they came out with something called NeoPUF, the physical unclonable function. And with that, and the OTP technology, PUFsecurity has been delivering the unparalleled security solution for the IC community, starting with our hardware root of trust, and then our crypto coprocessor, the PUFcc, which won the Best Choice Award this year. Thank you, Computex, and thank you, InnoVEX. So before we talk about the threat, we must first understand where this threat is coming from. It's the improvement of the computation power, in which it has made self-driving cars become a reality, and your factory no longer need that many workers. Not to mention that it has make our city infrastructure much smarter, and then even make a ways into our homes, into our appliances, so on and so forth, and help us utilize and process the large data set we never was able to do so with our human brain. And never but last, not to mention about the metaverse everyone has been talking about since last year. This is all thanks to the improvement of computing. But computing by itself is not enough. It's the connectivity that comes with the computing that continue to drive this advancement of our life, of our applications, so on and so forth. Since iPhone and 4G launched at the beginning of the millennium, actually late in the millennium, our life has been changed forever. Now with 5G continuing to roll out, we have data showing that the number of IoT devices will be triple of human population by the year of 2023. All of this connectivity actually drives the need of semiconductors. Well, with connectivity, it makes our life more convenient. It also helps the hacker more conveniently to hack us, right? As all my speakers before me has talked about. So start with a car. You can find numerous car examples on how the key being hacked or even the car's control being taken over remotely. And then if you search on YouTube on how to hack a security camera, there are many examples as well. And as Andrew mentioned in the earlier talk, one of my famous examples last year, Colonial Pipe. It cost more than $4 million of ransom loss for the company. All of this happened by remote hacking. So let's take a deeper dive into this, what happened really in this hack. So if we take IoT operation as an example, we start with the user and the interaction with the entry device. Now, first of all, when we have an IoT device, whether that's your watch or your phone, you first start putting into your user data. But how is this data stored? How is the data protected? And then this device is useless unless it's connected to the network. Now, you're creating a connection now, but how do you protect your data in transit? And once onto the cloud, your data is being processed there. That's the data in process part, data in use that needs to be protected. Not to mention that the cloud service also needs to protect each individual service independently and not to let them contaminate each other and cause further threats. So all of this happen in just one single IoT application. So to talk about what we can do from the IC side to help to counter this threat of hacking, we need to first understand how IC could be hacked. So here I show 3 examples. On the very left, this is by simply decapping a chip, meaning that you take a piece of IC, you unpackage it, and with the microscope SEM, you might be able to find the secret being stored in there if its storage is not properly selected. In the middle and on the right, they are doing fault injection and differential power analysis to extract the secret key. Why I keep talking about the key or the secret being stored? It is because for security, the key is everything. Think about it this way. The door lock you have at home, you could be using the same door lock with your neighbor, but because of different key, you cannot enter your neighbor's home, and your neighbor cannot enter your home. Same thing for hardware security. So the key must be well protected. That's why you want to use an invisible storage unit in the case on the left, while for the case in the middle and the right, what we call anti-side channel attack or anti-tamper design need to be considered such that the hacker cannot do such things to your device. So we have briefly touched upon the security already. Now, security actually comes in various levels, from the application level all the way down to the root of trust level. So each level actually is equally as important because security, you can consider it like it's a water tube, right? You pump water in there. It doesn't matter where your hole is. If there's a loophole, there's a leakage. So in each different layer here, it needs proper protection. So in PUFsecurity, we focus on the bottom 2 layers, the hardware and the root of trust, and try to perfect it. Now, since hardware and software are equally important, we have to understand one other thing, how that's actually hampering hardware, is that for software, if your device has gone on field, you want to do an OTA to update it, to patch your software, you can still do so. But for hardware, if it's hacked, and there's only one way is to swap it. So imagine that cost. So why are we doing this, you might ask? If we take the existing product out there today, these are some of the existing security IP out there. In every single one of them, you can see the sort of the green color, where basically the IP continues to ask the user to get external storage or entropy source to or the key generation. So all of that has caused tremendous amount of effort on our IC design house. That's why we have come up with our solution. So speaking of storage, in the earlier slide, we have shown a picture of how the secret data in the storage unit could be extracted easily. Here we give you a larger enlargement. So on the left, this is what we call fuse-based storage. It's like you store the data by burning out, breaking the fuse. So that's why it's visible. So the first thing is to have an anti-fuse solution as the storage unit. So this will help you to store not only the key, it could store your initial boot up code to ensure your IC will function properly. However, in order to do so, high reliability is also very important in advanced process node, such as 7 nanometer or 5 nanometer going downward. So this is where things are interesting, because this is now back down to the device physics, and you need to work with foundry very closely. And that's the kind of hard work we're taking with our parent company. So heard about PUFsecurity. So what is PUF? PUF is the physical unclonable function. So we actually all have one. It's our fingerprint. But how can we make one for the IC? That's what we do. Basically, very crash course here. When you make a semiconductor, there's process variation everywhere, even in the very adjacent cell. So in order to do a great PUF, we'll actually utilize that process variation by putting two identical transistors together and connecting them parallelly. And during the programming process, actually, think about it this way. When you stress it, only one of the transistor will be shortened, and the other one will remain the same. So either the right one will be have a conducting path, or the left one. And we can assign 0 and 1 prospectively. And this process is purely random, such that our PUF can be purely random as well. So in the last 2 pages, we talk about invisible storage unit. You think invisible is enough. Let me tell you, we can make it even better, because the PUF we had is simply seems it's a totally random. It's like a random key. We can use that key to scramble the data and location being stored in a location. So such that not only is invisible, you don't even know where it's located. And even for a hacker to hack one chip, it can only hack that one chip. It cannot use the same key to hack the other chip, because he doesn't know where the key is even stored. So with all of this integration, this is why ARM chose us in their latest architecture as their secure subsystem. So you might ask, it says hardware root of trust. If you search online, you're gonna see a lot of roots of trust. And a lot of people will say, my software can do it too, but why hardware? Simple, it's more secure, it's harder to hack. So with the hardware root of trust, the first application you can have is the secure booting of your SoC that goes forward into a device. So your device is not jailbreak. I think some of the folks a little bit older, in my age, probably understand that with earlier iPhone jailbreak, or even Switch being jailbreak, such that you can load in something weird. Then what about the crypto coprocessor part? That's simply because that with a hardware root of trust, it supports the crypto function. However, crypto function creates a load on the CPU. And in order to get the best performance, and nowadays designs have been offloading such calculation into hardware accelerator. That's the crypto processor part comes in here. And by integrating of them, we create a very unique product of our crypto coprocessor that won the award this year. So our product has all been certified and verified, first starting with a risk score to assess the risk of our IP. And then we also have our crypto certified by NIST and CAVP. And one of the uniqueness is that our IP are what we call hardened, meaning that we are all verified on silicon. So the IC design house can have the confidence when integrating our product to ensure their manufacturability. So since we have to do such silicon verification, here we show our availability. Basically, as you can see, we actually have our product available, whether it's in mainstream logic or in high voltage or BCD for power or automotive kind of IC offering. And we are collaborating with more than 25 foundries around the world to make this available to our customer. So at the end, so what our solution can do? First of all, we have a best-in-class hardware zero trust that provides not only a fingerprint, the identity for your IC, that actually powers all the operation that comes afterward. But that's not enough. Even with that, we still need anti-tamper to protect our crypto algorithm, the storage unit, so on and so forth. And that protection actually can help the anti-counterfeit for both your hardware and software, and eventually realize the zero trust supply chain security. So thank you for having me. And if you want to know more about it, find us on YouTube, find us on our white paper. We have different kind of article for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sean Wu, for such a detailed speech. Thank you once again for our keynote speakers today. Now we're moving on to the Q&A session, and we'll open some questions from the floor and from our audiences today. So before you ask any question, you just simply raise your hand. You can share on your thoughts or any comments or feedbacks, or maybe our speakers, would you like to interact with each other? I see a lot of like head knocking, when everyone is sharing. No? Anyone from the audience? All right, then it's okay. Then we'll come to the end of today's keynote speech. Thank you so much for all our participation from our online viewers. Remember to come back later and for our sharing later. Thank you once again for joining us this morning. 好，今天我们分享的厂商们已经到一个阶段结束了，同时也是今年本年。